What's up, guys? We're back. I am here with my co-hosts Randy and Ryan. Familiar faces. I will have Ryan's new Twitter. He has a Dolphins Twitter now. I will have it in the description of at the bottom of the video, and I will also have Randy's Twitter if you haven't caught that yet. Um, but yeah, we're back. Our last video was about a week ago, so we're excited to be back into it. We're doing something pretty fun today. So it's going to be our rankings of the top players from 2020, just last season. Our top 25. We didn't want to do any more than that because this list was hard enough to order everyone. And then we also are going to be doing some superlatives, giving out some awards to some guys who were deserving of it last season. So we're going to get right into it. I know we're all excited, so here we go. At number 25, we have offensive tackle, Robert Hunt. I think Robert Hunt was one of our best rookie O-linemen between Solomon Kinley and Austin Jackson. Solomon Kinley probably was a little bit better, but I think Robert Hunt filled into his role well, and I think he could have a great future with us at right tackle. So, let you guys get your opinion.
No, he's good, and he definitely deserves 25 on this list. Not too high, not too low,
Yeah,
but he's
you could argue to put him higher too, but we felt like that was fair for him. So, all
Oh
right,
yeah,
at
I
20,
agree. I would
at
have him right at
24,
25 too.
24, we have a little bit of a curveball. So
this
we
was
have two
Ryan's
players.
idea to have it like
That
this.
was my idea.
We have two players. So Durham Smythe and Adam Shaheen. I'll let you go since it was your idea, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I mean, at first I said Shaheen, and then they put Smythe as well because they were both pretty productive when they were out there.
Yeah,
Especially the games when Mike was hurt. I think he was out at least one game.
yeah, a few games, I think, two or three.
Yeah, they got a few touchdowns each, I think,
Yeah.
or at least some good first downs they picked up.
And the thing I like is they're very complimentary. And they do their role well, and they're good locker room guys. They definitely both deserved a spot on this list. So
Right.
Yep. All right,
All right.
maybe I'll grab the next one. Let's see who it is.
At 23.
Okay. It's fitting that I grabbed this one because they didn't want to put him on the list at all, and
No.
I was the one that said if you make first team All Pro, you need to be on this list. And I don't like Jakeem Grant. They don't like Jakeem Grant. Sorry, Jakeem. We know you're watching this video. If you're seeing this, I'm really sorry. You have brick for hands, alligator arms, but he made All Pro as a returner, so we have to give him a little bit of respect. And I would be comfortable with him. They're probably going to flame me for this, but I'd be comfortable bringing him back if he was mostly a returner and maybe had 10 offensive snaps a game, if that.
I think the reason I don't like Jakeem is because, we feel like he's supposed to be better than what he is. And this offseason, when he posted that video, I don't know if you remember, and it was like a video of him working out, and it was like, I'm a receiver, not a returner. He
He's
sure as hell didn't look like one this year.
No.
So
Dude,
I
I
agree.
watched that video and I thought he was gonna have a Tyreek Hill type
yeah,
season.
and that's why it's so hard to put him on this list because it was like there were expectations for him in his second year, and he didn't produce. So, all right,
You got
moving
the
on.
next one.
22, we have Nick Needham. Nick Needham was a very much improved player this year. I know he got scorched against Buffalo, I believe. Feels like so long ago, but he got scorched against Buffalo. He definitely does have trouble with some faster receivers, I see. But I think Nick Needham is deserving. He did have a lot of pass breakups. I think he had to have had like one or two interceptions. But as your third corner, I'm not going to complain when you have Xavier Howard and Byron Jones in front of him. So,
Yeah.
all right. At 21, Zach Seiler, however you say it.
I think it's Sealer.
Sealer. Go ahead. Whoever wants to take this.
It's Ryan's turn.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'd pick this one, but yeah, that's a good spot for him. Late or early 20s because he did his job for the most part. He didn't do anything crazy, but he did okay.
Yeah, and I think the expectations weren't high. So seeing like your third defensive tackle make some big plays in some games was pretty cool to see.
I was about to say that he's pretty good for the team's like third defensive tackle.
Yep. And we got him at a steal. It's not like he was on the Ravens, I think, practice squad or something.
Dude, okay. Before we move on from Zach's Sealer, he signed a contract extension, and I remember them not putting the amount at first on Twitter, like of what the amount he's getting paid is, and it's like a 3-year extension, which I was super excited about, and I'm curious how much they gave him. Dude's making like $2 or $3 million a year. That's like
Wow.
that's nothing. Like that's a steal. We have him for like 3 years at like I think he's literally making $3 million a year, something
Mm.
like that.
I didn't know it
Yeah,
was that
that's a
cheap.
friendly.
That's good.
They're paying
Yeah,
him like pennies. Okay,
friendly contract.
yeah, really
All right,
friendly.
at number 20, we have Big Fish, Saul McKinley. Um, whose turn?
Um, I think
You
it's my
go.
turn, but
Yeah, you go.
yeah. Solomon Kinley, since he started from the beginning of training camp, he grabbed that right guard spot and didn't let go of it. He's been good. He was pretty solid in the pass protection game. I don't remember him really having any bad games. He's pretty decent in the running game. He was probably the best offensive lineman all around this year. And I think
Yeah.
when he went to play at left guard when Eric Flowers got hurt, it was actually better.
Hmm.
So,
I
yeah,
agree.
props to Solomon Kinley.
Yeah, I think it's good. You have these two. Robert Hunt and Saul McKinley are making our list. Spoiler alert: Austin Jackson is not on our top 25. No one's given up on Austin Jackson yet, but as a first-round pick, we do need to see more. And think we can all agree, out of the three rookie O linemen, he was the worst.
Yeah, and Kinley was the fourth round pick, and still,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, moving on. Number 19, Elandon Roberts.
It's your
And
turn, and
This
this was
was
your
someone. Yep. So this was someone that we actually forgot about. Like when we were making the list, we were going down and down and down. I think we were on like 23 or 24, and I was like, "Who are we missing?" Like linebacker, and I was like, Elandon Roberts. Elandon Roberts is a limited player. He's not a three-down linebacker, but I think similar to Zach Sealer, Jakeem Grant, they can do the one thing where they're really good at doing, and that's for him stopping the run. And I think when he did get hurt against Oakland, you did miss that, run stuffing. I think at least every game he was in the backfield making one big hit, at least one.
Yeah.
So he was our replaceable Raekwon McMillan. I think he was better at doing his job than Raekwon McMillan, but Raekwon is a little bit younger. So moving on, number 18, Ryan Sweeney, it is your turn. Lynn Bowden Jr.
Lynn Bowden Jr. He was a nice little surprise on our offense, especially when Devontae Parker was out. He stepped up big time. He definitely won us a few games there. Tua had to throw to somebody, and we were thankful to have him. We didn't think anything of him at the time, but he did a good job.
I was a little worried because he was inactive for so many games to start the season. I thought he was
Right.
going to be one of those guys that just got cut. Didn't get a chance to actually play. Just didn't ever, pan out. So
I think the only thing I have to say about him is the return on investment was great. They traded a fourth round pick for him. I don't know why Vegas gave up on him. Clearly, he has a special ability to make people miss. But he just didn't start, I guess, because he didn't really know the playbook, which is fair. So
yeah, I wanted Lynn Bowden higher. Just to the viewers, I think he was a little bit more deserving of better than 18. But we agreed to put him at 18. Now let me ask you guys, since we're on the topic, who are you taking? Lynn Bowden or Albert Wilson?
Lynn, because he's younger.
Okay.
Lynn
Who's
Bowden,
more
'cause he's younger.
explosive?
They're the same to me.
I want to see Albert Wilson.
Albert Wilson's a better route runner, and he's more like no, I think Albert Wilson's faster, but Lynn Bowden can
Oh,
make
yeah, for
people
sure.
miss better.
For sure.
So
But
I don't
Lynn
know.
Bowden's good after catch. I like Lynn Bowden. I think he'll be here for a while.
Yeah.
Hopefully he
I think
stays
there's
off
room.
Twitter.
There's room
He-
for both of them.
Yeah, his Twitter is sketchy sometimes. Speaking of that, did you guys see Mark Walton?
Yeah, he got
Yeah,
arrested.
he got arrested at Pizza Hut.
Dude, that guy needs help.
Did he like broke into a Pizza Hut because they took his order the wrong way or
It's
something?
at least like his fourth time getting arrested.
Yeah.
He said he felt disrespected, or
Yeah.
he tried to break the window, I think.
Yeah. Anyways, at number 17, we have Matt Hawk, and this was funny because me and Ryan thought he was deserving more than 17.
I had him at 8.
Yeah,
think it's-
I had him top 10. We're gonna pass this to Randy as to why Matt
Okay.
Hawk is so
Yeah.
low.
It's my turn, and they disagreed with me on this quite a bit. First off, he's a punter. Why is a punter gonna be like?
There's
he's
Hall
a-
of Fame punters.
Yeah, okay, there's Hall of Fame punters. Look, he's a punter, and if those fake plays that went for touchdowns counted, he'd be in the top 10, no question. But because they were ineligible and they didn't count, his punting ability can be really good sometimes. And I also saw in the Buffalo game him kick a 30-yard punt. Like he's inconsistent sometimes. I actually don't even know if the Dolphins will re-sign him. I would re-sign him probably. He's a free agent right now. But I'm not super high on Matt Hack like they are.
All
Hawk
right.
Hack. But
Whatever.
whatever.
All right, number 16, Shaq Lawson. Whose turn?
It's yours.
My turn.
Yeah.
I like Shaq Lawson. I think he represents what Brian Flores is all about. He's a team player. He's very humble. He likes to talk a lot of smack, which I think Brian Flores like low key likes. He wants those tough guys. But he's a respectable guy. I think he did his role well. I know there were a few games he was hurt, and we didn't miss too much of a beat with him, but we had a bunch of good edge setters like Andrew Van Ginkel and Kyle Van Noy. So we didn't miss too much without him. But I think he had 5 sacks or so, and he's good at setting that edge and stopping the run. So I think he's deserving of that 16 spot. So, all right, moving up, 15, Bobby McCain. Ryan.
Bobby McCain. This man has improved every
Yeah.
single year.
Yep.
He has gotten better every year we've had him. We've had him, what, 5 years now?
This is his sixth, or that was
Yeah.
his sixth, or
I
something.
think
We got him
he
the
was
same
part
draft
of-
as Devontae. I
He was a 2015 draft, I want to say.
think he was with Devontae.
Yeah,
I
so
think.
he's always been like the nickel guy. Before he only kind of had one role, and now he's kind of expanded into being able to do just about anything.
Yeah.
And without him back there, we saw like we were talking about the Chiefs game when Fedulum had to come in for him when he got hurt.
Yep. 2
And-
touchdowns.
2 immediate touchdowns like that. So I think Bobby McCain is a big part of that defense.
Yep. I agree. Next we have Eric Rowe.
Eric Rowe.
So,
This was somebody that I was fighting for to be this high on the list. I think Eric Rowe did his job phenomenally. The only tight ends I could say took his lunch money were Kelsey and Waller, who take everyone's lunch money.
Yeah.
And even then, most of the catches they had on him were really contested. He was right up on them. Just a better player making better plays. The other guy gets paid too. I think Eric Rowe's become a good a good strong safety, and I'm excited for him to stay in this defense. I think he's the right type of player.
I agree. I love the move Flores made of moving him to safety from corner and extending him and keeping him on the roster.
Yep.
So excited for both those guys going forward. I think they'll draft a safety, definitely. I don't know exactly how early or how late, and they have Brandon Jones. But I think as far as Bobby McCain goes, I think he's great at breaking up passes. He's not the fastest guy, but he's a good deep safety that can come up and break up passes. So I'm not mad going forward with those guys. All right, so I'm actually going to reveal the next 2 because we put them next to each other because I think, I know we are all 3 both big fans of them. We love Fitz, we love Tua. They could be swapped. You could make an argument that Fitz had a better season than Tua because he did win us that Raiders game. But going forward, everyone's excited about Tua. We're all thankful for what Fitz did with Tua, thankful for how Fitz stuck with the organization last year and really proved to be a true veteran and a leader in the locker room. So that's all I'm going to say about them. We all love them. If you guys have anything you want to add.
We've talked about them a lot.
Yeah. 2 guys that I would love to see back next year, of course, especially Tua. I don't think Fitz will be back, but I would not complain if he was. Granted, I would like to see the training wheels taken off Tua. So,
I agree.
yeah. All right, at number 11, we have Devontae Parker. Ryan or Randy.
Ryan.
I'll take this one. I think I was the one who wanted to have him up there pretty high.
Okay.
Go ahead, Randy.
Okay, I was going to say the reason that I don't think he's as high is I think he had kind of a great to elite season last year, but I know he's on this I'm going to be healthy and I'm not going to miss any games, but this year he just played injured and it kind of showed to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. When he's on, but when he's injured, he's kind of missing something and he doesn't something that annoys me a little bit about Devontae, I think he's a great 50-50. I actually think he could be the best 50-50 receiver in the NFL. But I don't like that he never gets any separation. He's never open, ever. Every catch he has is really contested, and he makes them, which is great. But, is it too much to ask for him to get a little open?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he could have played better, and I'm guessing maybe next year he will play better. He just he was hurt a little bit, and he played through it, and it showed.
I think the big reason for me as to why he's at 11 and he's not in the top 10 is because of the expectations we had going into this season. After last season, I was arguing he was a top 5 receiver currently. And I think last season he was a top 5 receiver as far as production wise. But yeah, he was I hate to say it, I don't want to call him a disappointment, but he was, he let us down this year. We expected him to carry the offense and come out to be that true number 1 receiver. And if you look at it now, the only thing we learned this season is that he is exactly not that.
And we need a
Is that
number
we
one.
need a number one.
If he
So
was top 10 in this list, would we be talking about taking
yeah,
Devonta Smith or Jamar Chase with the third
yeah.
overall pick?
Well,
So,
and
I
to
think
add to
anywhere
that,
from 9 to 11, you could argue for Devontae, but we
Mhm.
have 10 guys. We're getting into the top 10 now that we believe are better. So at number 10, we put Byron Jones, and I'm gonna take this one because from my Twitter fan base and following, I have seen the many mixed emotions about Byron Jones. A lot of people think he's good. A lot of people hate him because he's overpaid, which he probably is overpaid. But I think Byron Jones stepped into his role nicely. There were times he got burnt deep, but I think if Xavier Howard, let me ask you guys this: if Xavier Howard were to get hurt, how comfortable are you that Byron Jones is your number one corner?
He is because we don't have anyone else, right?
Okay,
Right
but
now.
how confident are you? Like, how would you feel?
I like Howard because he gets the picks and Byron does his job really well. No, I'm confident in Byron and locking up a number one receiver. They
Okay.
made him do it all the time. Just he doesn't get any like
Yeah.
turnovers or anything, right?
Yeah, I agree. I,
my
you know, I,
take my take on that is I think that when we signed Byron Jones to his fat contract, I think he became the most the highest paid corner in the league. We signed him, not knowing whether he'd be the number one or number two corner on the team. We didn't know if he'd be better than Howard.
yeah, that's
And
true.
Howard just happened to have a monster season, and Byron didn't play bad. He was just overshadowed by X's great season. That's what I think
Yeah.
it was.
It's a good take.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to see him maybe not get burnt so deep by like the Christian Kirks and John Browns of the world, but we'll live with it if he's not letting it up too much.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 9, we have Kyle Van Noy, our oldest player, I think, either him or Fitz, but he'll be our oldest player next year. I think KVN was one of those guys that could have won a superlative as like the quietest impact player. Like he didn't pad up the stat board, but he was a leader. He's a veteran. I'm sure he helped out many of those young guys at practice and inside the locker room. And he did his job. He was great at setting the edge, not letting runs get to the outside. I like that pickup that we did with Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah.
Anything, all good?
Mm-hmm.
Moving on?
Yeah.
All right. Number 8, shoot. We have Myles Gaskin.
I can take Gaskin. I think that Gaskin a lot like he's really the only running back. I guess Ahmed did well too, but he's the running back that kind of carried a lot of the workload. You saw that he can catch very well. He could pass block, and last year, if I told you that Myles Gaskin was going to have the impact he had this year, he's a 7th-round pick last year. If I told you he was going to become this, you would give me 2 thumbs up on that draft pick. If we were sitting on the draft board and you said this guy's going to do this next year, you would say, wow, like what a steal. That's a steal. You'd say that he's a 4th-round type of talent. So, thumbs up for Myles Gaskin. I hope he continues to get better, but he did a lot this year.
Yeah. I think our run game was different with him in versus anyone else.
Yeah.
When he was starting, I think we only lost one game when he started, and it was the last week to Buffalo. I think. Don't quote me. But I do think.
Go look at his prorated numbers.
I'm reading that.
Yeah. Go look at his prorated numbers, to see what they would have been if he had played the whole season. It's really good. So
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting. All right, coming at number 7, we have rookie defensive tackle Raekwon Davis. Ryan, all you.
I'm a big fan of Raekwon Davis.
As am I.
I'm a big fan of drafting any player on the Alabama defense, first of all. And I believe we got him in the
Second round.
it was like 56th overall or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'd say he was a steal.
Yeah. He was actually, I think, Pro Football Focus rated him the top defensive tackle of all rookies. So
Right.
coming in the second round, that's pretty nice to have.
Definitely my favorite rookie, and he's gonna only get better this year. So
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Not much else to say. I think he's going to be a monster. He's huge, and he's a good kid. He's got all the tools. So, moving on, number 6, Jerome Baker. Randy?
I think you should take this one.
Okay.
Andrew. Yeah.
So some people are gonna, think Jerome Baker maybe shouldn't be number 6. I'm gonna disagree because, especially at the end of the season, I think he really started to come out of his shell. We didn't see him as much as far as in the pass game making an impact, but I saw him a lot of tackles. I saw him get many more sacks. What did he have? 8 sacks? Six,
7 or 8.
seven or eight
Somewhere around that.
sacks. And with Elandon Roberts hurt and his second linebacker, who was it? I mean, we ran a 3-4 defense, so it's not like
Yeah.
he had Van Ginkel. I mean, Jerome Baker was the core of that linebacking group, and he's still a young guy. He's a great guy, and I think I would not want to get rid of him. I think he's a fast linebacker. He makes impactful plays, and I think he's deserving of 6. So, anything else? Moving on. All right. Number 5, Emmanuel Ogba. Randy.
Yeah, this one I'll take. He was, I think it was 10 sacks this year, maybe more. Was it 10 or 12? It was somewhere in that
No,
neighborhood.
it wasn't 12. I don't even think it was 10. I think
It
it
was-
was
He had like 9.5.
It was
Yeah.
like 9.5 or 10 sacks. He did a good job setting the edge. He was effective as a pass rusher. This defense is better off with him. I thought he's the best pass rusher you have. I mean, if you look at it any way, like pure pass rusher, he did great. Also, the value for him is fantastic. When you sign him in free agency, he's only being paid like 9 or 10 million a year, which is like very, very good for his position, because edge rusher is a very expensive position. So I thought he did great. Not much more to say than that. I hope he continues to do well, but I could definitely see them upgrading the edge position for sure in this offseason. So we'll see.
All right. Number 4, I'm going to take this one. I already know who it is before I look.
Me too, I know.
Just because I'm going to bounce off what Randy just said. So Andrew Van Ginkel. Andrew Van Ginkel is our best one-on-one pass rusher, I think. I think as far as beating his man, he has the speed. He's strong. I think if I had to choose someone to beat their man one-on-one, I'm probably going to choose Andrew Van Ginkel. A lot of Ogba's sacks, even like the Rams game, remember when Andrew Van Ginkel returned that touchdown?
Yeah.
Nobody touched Ogba. Like, he was just a free rusher. And a lot of his sacks, he was a free rusher. Now, granted, he fit his role nicely. It was a lot of good scheme to get the pass rush going. I mean, we have Emmanuel Ogba and Andrew Van Ginkel leading our team in sacks on the D-line. Like, that's how you know it's a good scheme. Like, those guys aren't, 5-star pass rushers like a Chase Young.
Yeah.
So I would definitely give credit to the coaching staff for that. But I would put Andrew Van Ginkel definitely at 4. I think every Dolphin fan became loving to Andrew Van Ginkel as well.
Yeah, I think something that makes Van Ginkel, like, people might question why we have him above Ogba. I could definitely see viewers seeing this and wondering. The answer is, I think Van Ginkel makes plays beyond pass rush, way beyond it.
Tip balls.
He gets tip balls all the time. He is very aware. He's actually really, really good at special teams, but I think his special teams got diminished a little bit this year because his role on defense got increased. But the things that Van Ginkel brings to you, I honestly do believe he can kind of go into the flat and cover a little bit. Not like a ton, but like Ogba can't cover at all. So I think Van Ginkel is your like your Rob Ninkovich type of player. He's your kind of like that all around edge player, edge linebacker. He's
like
great
a Kyle
outside.
Van Noy. Like a younger Kyle
Like
Van
a
Noy.
younger Kyle Van Noy, but I actually would argue that Van Ginkel is more of a playmaker. But
More of an athlete.
More,
too,
just more of a playmaker. All right.
All right. Ryan, you're going to take number 3, which is Mike Gesicki, your favorite Dolphin.
That is my favorite Dolphin. I love Mike Gesicki. He had a great year, actually. I think he had at least 6 or 7 touchdowns. I could be wrong. But he was great. When we went down to Jacksonville, he did wave to us when we were screaming right at the Dolphins tunnel.
Yeah.
But, he definitely makes a big impact on that offense. And I think him and Tua they're going to connect for a while down the road.
I think out of all the Dolphins, Mike Gesicki is one of the guys I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
My expectations for him next year is to be right under the Darren Waller, Travis Kelce, George Kittle. He needs to be that number 4 tight end next year, and I think he will be.
I think so too. If he stays healthy, he's capable of being a top 5 tight end.
Yep. And I think he honestly was probably that this year as far as a top 5 tight end when he got the targets. Sometimes he would not get a lot of targets during games, but number 2 on the list, we have the Pro Bowl snub, Jason Sanders.
I almost think Ryan should get this one too. Not that I love
Ryan
Sanders,
does like Jason Sanders.
Yeah, I think Ryan loves Jason Sanders. I like him too a lot though.
Yeah. So Jason Sanders, I think he made how many in a row before he finally missed? Was it 17 or 18?
18. Oh, he's so good. Do you know he only missed one attempt out of 8 for 50-yard plus?
Yeah.
It was like
He
1 out of 8 for 50 yards. He was the best kicker in football.
he was so
I agree.
consistent. The Seattle game, I think he made all 5 field goals.
Yep.
Because we couldn't
Yep.
get a touchdown, obviously.
Nope.
But
Yeah.
he did everything we asked him to do. He's probably the best kicker in the AFC. Obviously they took Young Hao Koo and Blankenship over him, but
He
That's a
he
joke.
was
That's a
yeah.
joke. Blankenship made one field goal at 50 more yards, I believe. Don't quote me, but I believe.
yeah.
So
So yeah, I love Jason Sanders. He's probably one of my favorite Dolphins right now.
yeah. Alrighty. We have come to our number one Miami Dolphin from 2020, the All Pro, the Defensive Player of the Year snub, and the one and only Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
I
all of us.
don't think there is a lot to say about Xavier Howard because of how pure of a defensive back he is. There's not many guys that have the ball skills on defense. I don't know about his, history. I don't know if he used to be a wide receiver,
He did.
but he did. There you go.
Yeah.
He definitely has the ball skills to be a wide receiver. And, there's a lot of question marks this offseason, which I understand about his contract, his needs going forward. But Xavier Howard's the best cornerback I've seen on my team in my lifetime. And I was a big Brent Grimes fan, and I met Brent Grimes, but not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah, I think just Howard has everything. He's so good in run support. He's really savvy. He's so smart. He's like
Yeah.
Richard Sherman smart about defense. And he lets people beat him a little bit just so he can catch up and snag the ball from them. I mean, he even had a forced fumble. Like no one ever talks about that. He let up a catch, and
Yeah.
right after he let it up, he went for a forced fumble and he got it. So
I was at that game.
peanut punch
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
All right, guys. So we are done with our top 25 players of 2020. We're going to transition right into our 2020 superlatives. So we're just going to go right through it. So starting out, we have our hidden gem. Congratulations to Zach Sealer. We talked about him before as far as being the, low-key guy who ended up having a decent impact. And, of course, extending him in his contract. I think going forward, that was a steal. So I'll take that one. Next, we have worst play of the year.
I want this one because this is I am the one that said this is the worst play of the year. It was like a 50-yard backward snap in the Los Angeles Chargers game from Ted Karras. Not only did he already have a bad snap on that drive that Tua had to pick up and make into a play, this one he just snapped like it was like a line drive straight on the ground, and Tua had to go make a tackle. I never want to see Tua have to do that again.
Also,
That
the
was
thing
terrible.
about that, I think we were up 14-0, and we were about to score. We were in like the 8-yard line,
And
and then
then
that happened, and it was 14-7. The Chargers ended up scoring.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, and no one knows why that happened. I've never seen that happen before. So
All right, Ryan, you were with me during this next play, so I'm going to let you take this one. Our winner of the best play of the year is Ryan Fitzpatrick to Mac Hollins.
All right, yeah. So yeah, Andrew and I were watching this game together in person, and obviously everyone knows in the third quarter, Fitzmagic did come in, and we had mixed views on it. At first, I don't know if I agreed, but I accepted it.
Yeah.
And then obviously this play happens. Fitz, he gets a hand to the face, drops back, slings it, and Mac makes the play. So
Yeah.
that's got to be the play of the year.
That was what kept us in the playoffs too. So that also has the impact. Granted, we didn't make the playoffs, but that was, good momentum game going into Buffalo.
Right.
All right. Our Finn's fantastic performance. So pretty much our best
performance,
player,
our best outing.
our best performance by a single player during the year. We all agreed Tua versus Cardinals, just because it was his second game after the Rams game where he didn't do much. And I think we all watched that game and we were just so excited. I remember watching it. I was like, oh my God, this guy is the real deal. And then, of course, we won that game. So Tua versus Cardinals, Finn's fantastic performance. Our next superlative, bust of the year,
All right.
Jordan Howard.
Jordan Howard, boo.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to say about that.
No, I think for a lot of the next ones, we've talked about players, so we can kind of go through them a little bit more quickly.
Yeah.
But like this was just bad sign.
All right. Most improved player, Myles Gaskin. Nick Needham deserves the honorable mention, I think.
Yeah.
Myles Gaskin, most improved player. Rookie of the year, Raekwon Davis.
No question. best at
Yep.
his position in his class.
All right. Special teams player of the year. Jakeem Grant. I'm just kidding. Jason Sanders. Shout out Jason Sanders, best kicker in the league. Defensive player of the year. We actually put Andrew Van Ginkel in this spot. We were debating between Ogba. I was arguing Jerome Baker before we got on air. But I think our consensus was to put Andrew Van Ginkel here. So, offensive player of the year, Mike Gesicki. Don't think it's up for debate. He was our best player, most consistent when he was playing. Locker room guy, and so excited for him going forward. So excited for Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
And last but not least, our MVP, Xavier Howard.
Let's go.
Nothing
Yep.
else to say about him.
Yeah, just absolute stud. Overall, good list. Happy with the
This was
players.
fun.
Happy with the season.
Any closing thoughts?
No, just to tell everyone to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. We have been doing better and better every single video.
We have our first mock draft about to drop, and it is going to be epic. We're going to do 3 mock drafts. We're going to do one now. We will do one during free agency, and we will do one before the draft. Mock draft 1.0 is going to drop soon. We will have a screen share live of how we're processing the picks as if us 3 are in the Miami Dolphins front office. And that's probably going to be one of my favorite videos to actually dive into.
Yeah.
Other than that, signing off. Please like, subscribe. All 3 of our Twitter handles will be in the comments. And I will catch you on Twitter. Till next time.
Fins up.
All right,
Peace.
fins up.